Anything that is complex becomes difficult for us, for our brain to decode. Anything that is difficult leads to pain. And if you see, our brain is conditioned to move away from pain and move towards pleasure. So something that is complex, we don't want to do it. Welcome to Mindfulness and Mindset podcast, and I'm your host Alok Taunk. I'm a mindfulness and mindset coach, and I'm on a mission to help people live a life that is stress-free, full of clarity and confidence. And I do this via my programs, my courses, my coaching, and various other engagements. And I welcome you right from the bottom of my heart to this episode number 3, that is how to deal with procrastination and get things done. So in this podcast, what I've done is I have bifurcated this entire episode into 3 segments. Number 1 being understanding the procrastination phenomena. Number 2, why do we procrastinate at first place? And according to my observation and learning, I will be listing down top 3 reasons for our procrastination habit. And number 3 is we're going to look at how to mindfully deal with procrastination. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. Now, the thing is, it's unfortunate that we have labeled procrastination as a negative habit, right? We look at procrastination as something negative and something that we shouldn't be doing, right? But let's understand that is it really fair enough to see and to view, to label procrastination as something that is negative? So here, what I would like to do is, let's first understand the reasons, the top 3 reasons for our procrastination habit. According to my observation, the number 1 reason why we procrastinate is because somewhere we realize that this particular thing that we are trying to procrastinate, we understand that it is important. We know that it is important, but somewhere we also realize the fact that it is not urgent. Now, something that is important, but something that is not urgent, it is very obvious that our brain will not focus on that thing. Our brain will automatically shift its focus to something that is more urgent, that is the need of the hour. That's how our brain is programmed. That's how our brain is conditioned. That's how our algorithms work. So it will automatically start focusing on things that is important, and things which are not urgent will automatically pushed on the back burner. So this is one of the reasons that we procrastinate. The second reason why we procrastinate is because somewhere we find that particular task to be complex in nature. Anything that is complex becomes difficult for us, for our brain to decode. Anything that is difficult leads to pain. And if you see, our brain is conditioned to move away from pain and move towards pleasure. So something that is complex, we don't want to do it. Because ultimately, if you see, we end up using a lot of mental energy to solve complex problems. And our brain is a high maintenance organ. It doesn't want to give away so much of energy. It is very miser when it comes to spending energy. That's the reason it always looks for easy tasks, and it always moves away from complex tasks. So anything that is complex, we want to procrastinate. We want to put it on a back burner. This is the second reason why we procrastinate. And the third reason is somewhere we have developed aversion towards that particular task. And that's the reason we just want to avoid it. Because of that aversion, we just want to avoid it. We just don't want to do it. So according to my observation, these are the 3 main reasons why we procrastinate. So now, coming back to what I spoke about procrastination being labeled as something negative. Now I want you to give a thought on this. That how about if we consciously procrastinate? Yes, there's something weird. What about if we consciously procrastinate? And by consciously procrastination, what I mean is you see the urgency of the task, whether it is really urgent. If it is not urgent, then you can place it on a back date. You can consciously procrastinate and do something that is comparatively more urgent right now. By doing this, I guess you will be more effective and more productive in your executions. But yes, if you are mindlessly procrastinating, that's a negative habit. By mindlessly procrastinating, what I mean is you are just procrastinating because that is a habitual pattern that you have developed over a period of time. If that is the case, then you need to work on it. But if you are consciously procrastinating it because somewhere you know it is important but it is not urgent, that's the reason I need to place it on a back burner so that I can do something which is more urgent, then that is a smart move. That is what I call as being wise. So look at consciously procrastinating, right? So now the 3 reasons that I just spoke about because of which we procrastinate, let's look at it. How can we deal, or rather I would say, how can we mindfully deal with procrastination? Number 1, the first reason was when we think that the task is important but it is not urgent. So here conscious procrastination will really help, and that is, I guess, a wise solution to follow. You consciously put those things on a back burner, those are not urgent. And you take something, focus on something that is super urgent right now. That's how you can solve that, the first thing. The second is complex task. So as I told you that our brain is conditioned to move away from pain and move towards pleasure. And that's the reason unknowingly and consciously we start seeking for something which is simpler comparatively. So whenever you encounter something which is very complex, try to break it down into smaller chunks. Try to break it down into simpler pieces. Anything that is super complex, once when it is broken down into smaller pieces, it is easily doable. It is practical because now our brain is not overwhelmed, because now for our brain it becomes super easy to digest those chunks. So by breaking down any complex task into smaller pieces, we make that thing easier and will not procrastinate. In fact, we'll start doing them step by step, one step at a time, right? And number 3 is about task aversion. So whenever you feel that this particular task is something that I don't enjoy doing, that's when you need to shift your focus towards a bigger picture. By that, what I mean is, don't focus on the process, because the process is where you have developed that aversion. Instead of process, start focusing on the outcome. Start focusing on what kind of difference I'm making, what kind of problem I'm solving by doing this particular task. If you shift your focus from being process-oriented to being outcome-oriented, if you shift your focus from that particular task to the bigger picture of how you're solving some problem, or maybe how you're serving others, this will give you a different level of inspiration. And this will in fact make you do that thing with more precision and with more motivation. It's nothing but it's a mental tweak that you bring in. So these are 3 ways in which we can actually start dealing with procrastination more mindfully. What do you think about this? Does this give you a different way or a different perception of looking at procrastination? I'm sure I was able to help you and add some kind of value through this episode. And I hope to see you soon in the next episode. Till then, stay strong, stay mindful, and take care of yourself. God bless you.